Hey everybody, it's Dr. Charles Dick with your Monday morning coffee. Now, I really do hope you had a great weekend. And I understand that sometimes you need to take time for yourself. I think every person need to have a self-care plan. That means when you learn how to do what I call a DND, that's a do nothing day. I mean, doing nothing. I mean, staying in your PJs, enjoying your day, not telling the children, if you got, unless you got a small baby or something, you might need to have somebody come in to help you out with that. But then learn how to take care of yourself. Because if you're not taking better care of you, whose responsibility is it? And I find a lot of people want to support family members and do everything. And I saw people put their lives on hold for their children. And I asked parents, who taught you that? Why is it that you got to put your life on hold to raise your children? Why is it that you can continue to grow and thrive and be the best version of yourself while you're raising your children? You know, sacrifice is necessary because it pays off in the long run. Now, some of you know that I've been on this kick since October and November about mindset makeover, for maximum impact. Now, this is the booklet for the month of November. Now, we also have the booklet coming out for the month of December. But coming into 2024, we want to have a mindset makeover. You know, mindsets is everything because you can have a fixed one or you can have a growth mindset. And if you can get trapped in a fixed mindset, because sometimes people with fixed mindset don't believe that their lives can get better, that the universe is fixed. And, some people are supposed to be successful and some people are supposed to be failures. Some people are winners and some people are losers. And as if this is fixed in the universe, that's why some people believe football games and all these things are fixed. Some people are going to win, some people are going to lose. But I believe that you can win in life if you change your mindset. So let me share some things with you that we were talking about over the weekend about mindset upgrade. Now, think about this. In computers and apps and everything, there's always an upgrade. But what about your mindset? Have you thought that lately you need an upgrade? But in order for you to say you need an upgrade, you got to admit you got flaws. Now, we know people run around saying no one's perfect. But we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for maturity. A lot of times people are looking for perfection. They're trying to perfect everything. But they're not looking for how do I mature? How do I get the mindset that I need to go where I want to go in life? But listen to this. If you don't have a clear vision or purpose of where you're going, any mindset would do. I'm serious. Any mindset would do. But if you have a clear purpose, a clear mission, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm designed to do. You got to get a mindset to be able to achieve that. That's why some people never achieve their dreams and never get to the places they need to be, because it's a good on the vision board, but do you have a mindset to get there? You got to develop a mindset. And sometimes you got to admit you got flaws. You got these errors in your way that's hindering you from moving forward. So let's deal with this. So the first thing I want to challenge you with is this. Change what you hear. And now I want to put it in the context of this. Change what you say to yourself. If you walk around talking about, I can't do this, I'm always hurting, this is, if it's not one thing, it's another. You got to change what you're feeding yourself and what you're hearing, because the key thing is, like scripture said, faith comes by hearing and hearing about the word of God. But you got to also ask yourself, what are you saying in your life? Because whatever you say, that's what you're going to get. So you got to be mindful of the fact that you got to be careful of your own self-talk. Now, if you got a negative self-talk, you're going to produce negative things. And that's why you're going to have to change your mindset. Like you keep talking about, I can't, this will never happen, I wish, I should have. You get rid of all those things and start doing it. So be careful what you're hearing, even when you're speaking to yourself. Change how you see you. When you stay in the mirror, you look in the mirror and say, I'm not a failure. I learned from my mistakes. I learned from the mistakes of others. I can get up again. God gave me a second chance. No, God gives me another chance. Even though some people won't give you a second chance, God gives you another chance. That's one thing you learn about. So you got to be careful what you hear. So here's the thing that I want to share with you right now. As you learn to be careful what you hear, take in consideration whether or not you are growing or whether or not you're stagnant. If you're growing, that means you're taking what you hear and you learn how to apply it. And that becomes so critical to a growth mindset. It's learning how to apply what you're hearing to your daily activities. That's important. So, do you need to upgrade? And sometimes what happens to us is this ego gets in the way. I don't need to upgrade. I don't have any flaws in my life. Well, that's a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is always looking for ways to improve. I can get better here. I can get better in this relationship I'm having with my wife, or your woman having with a man, or whoever your relationship with. You could say, you know what? I can get better. I can get much, much better in this, but I got to change my mindset. And you notice, you listen to some people, it's the same stuff coming out of their mouth every single time because their mind is set and it's difficult to change. So I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to this. So if you're taking notes, be careful what you hear. Now, I want you to do this. Sit down for a minute and challenge, number one, how you think. Sit down a moment and challenge how you think. You know, everybody in here, you process information differently than anyone else. But sit down for a moment and say, you know what? When it comes to food, how do I think? When it comes to exercising, how do I think? When it comes to relationship, what's my thinking? You know, behind it. Because whatever you're thinking, that's what you're going to become. And every man agree with this. It doesn't matter what religion, you are the sum total of your thoughts. If you want to change your life, change what you think about. Get your eyes off negative things and start thinking on positive things. Because I like what Zig Ziglar said. People say, well, we go to these conferences, positive conference and stuff. You know, you just can't go to a conference and then it's good. No, he said it's just like taking a bath. You bathe one day, you bathe the next day. You have to constantly practice these things if you want to get better at them. You got to constantly put them before you. It's just like taking a bath. Bathe every day. You know, you bathe in this, you study this, you get deeper into it. So then here's the other thing you got to understand, that you got to study how you think. Please do that. Study how you think. The second thing I want you to do is assess how you deal with adversities. Assess how you deal with adversities, because adversity is going to come in your life. But when you sit down and assess, how do I deal with difficult times? How do I assess this? Make an assessment. You know, how do you look at it? If you look at it from a biblical perspective, you know that God is working behind the scenes to bring something good out of it. So how do you assess adversities? You got to sit there long enough. So you need to study how you think. You need to assess adversities. But here's the third thing I think you need to do. You need to gain more knowledge. You know, so feed your inner man, your inner being, with more than just things that entertain you. Feed yourself with books and feed yourself with webinars and seminars that's going to feed you and going to convince you to grow within yourself. Get some knowledge about it and grow in it, because God said my people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. The truth is, God brings knowledge to us, but we reject it. In other words, we don't receive it. So you got to be able to deal with it. You got to study how you think. You got to be able to deal with adversities, but you need to gain knowledge. You need to gain knowledge. You need to apply some things to you. Get a book, read this. I mean, please, because a lot of times people only read things to be entertained, but not to grow. Entertained and not to grow. So it's very important that you look at these things. You first of all study. Study to see how you think. That's so important. Assess how you deal with adversities, then gain knowledge. You know, find a book, gain something. So I'm going to grow in this area. If it was with a relationship, be strategic about saying, I want to improve my relationship. So how do I improve relationship? Become a better listener. How do I improve relationship? Ask more questions. But get to a place in your life that you want to get away from a fixed mindset. You want to get a mindset makeover for maximum impact. Tell you something. It's something else to get into this. Now, here's something else I want to share with you right now. sometimes you got to do this. You got to learn how to reset. Think about in life, like when things need a reset. Like, hey, I need a reset. I need to reset my mind, especially when it comes to adversity, especially when it comes to things that are challenging me. You got to have a reset. You got to just back off for a second. Think. Miss Virgil Joyner said at work, she said, go make it a blessed day. Think about it for a second. So I'm going to reset so I can make it a blessed day. I'm going to reset because I'm going to tell myself some very critical things. I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm walking in the favor of God. I got to reset when adversity comes because I got to say trials are going to come. Temptation is going to come, but God provides a way of escape. That's resetting. I'll tell you something. I love this. And I want to challenge you to get ready for 2024, but you got to start dealing with your mindset. Your mindset. And I want to tell you something. I believe you follow these things. And as we share with you every Monday about this mindset makeover, you'll become the best version of yourself. And I want to challenge you. If you want to get a copy of the booklet, just inbox me, somehow get in touch with me, and we'll provide you a copy of these booklets. Because I believe you are ready for mindset makeover. Hey, this Dr. Charles Dent with your Monday Morning Coffee.